Okay, next we're gonna be watching the Sexy Red experiment has failed. Let's go crazy.
Now, Sexy Red, just over a year ago, was one of the most
shout out that nigga Blocky Speaks, by the way.
popular new female rappers in the entire industry. After receiving a massive marketing push, it really looked like she was unstoppable. But
I'm not gonna lie. For every nigga, because there's a lot of you who say this woman is nasty and you would never fuck, if you are straight, you are fucking lying. Nah. If you are straight, you are fucking lying. This woman is a bit on the ratchet side, for sure. But sexy as fuck. I don't give a fuck what your mommy say. I don't give a fuck what your pastor say. I don't give a fuck what your fucking baby, daddy, mommy, Grammy say, bro. This woman is sexy as fuck, bro. On my mama, nigga. The fuck? Carry on, love.
now, it seems like the Sexy Red experiment might have failed.
Not you. Not you. Not you.
Or has it? Let's talk about it. Sexy Red is a 27-year-old rapper from St. Louis, Missouri, who broke into the mainstream back in late 2023
Oh, damn.
after her song Pound Town went viral.
Pound Town.
After the
Just
success
let
of that
Pound
record,
Town.
she later secured a remix with Nicki Minaj. And that same year, Drake featured her on his album.
Drake is such a bad bitch in disguise, bro. Like he like my boy get rich and just let his inner bad bitch out, bro. Like on foot, like what the fuck, bro? My nigga, you a grown ass man doing this shit, bro. Fuck me.
From there, it looked like nothing could stop Sexy Red. Her music was everywhere. She was trending nonstop. She became the new face of a certain kind of female rap energy.
Is it a damn body for days? Jesus Christ, my girl breast hanging right out the shit, bro. What's Sexy Red and Double XL? Hold on, let me see. Double XL, Sexy Red. No. Sexy Red news. Was she ever in Double XL? Says she can't stop throwing up blood. Okay, it's not my business.
Raw, unapologetic, and in your face. However, during her rise, we saw a lot of what I would call dysfunctional behavior. Something I actually dove into in my 30-minute documentary last year, the dysfunction of Sexy Red. Among many things, we had situations.
Whoa, mama. This is. Whoa. Don't do my girl like this. Stop that.
Like the teacher incident back in
There we go.
November 2023, a young ballet teacher went viral after expressing
Yes. Oh god, I remember this. Oh lord.
frustration about her students singing along to one of Sexy Red's most explicit songs, which was of course Pound Town.
Your 5-year-old daughters are asking to listen to Pound Town. Your 5-year-old daughters are asking, can we hear Pound Town?
A normal reaction,
I like how my girls will be like, she's ready to cry, bro.
especially coming from a woman who works with children every single day and understands what it's like growing up as a young girl herself. Now, she was simply pointing out the negative influence that songs like that could have on young kids. But instead of reflecting on something which was pretty fair criticism, Sexy Red brushed it off, replying, "Girl, shut the hell up and play my song." And that moment right there said a lot, because the dysfunction wasn't in just what she said. It was in her complete inability to recognize her music, while profitable, is also inappropriate for the children.
Stop. I had a fucking feeling that's what you mean. I hate this cat. Don't ever buy a cat, eh? Fuck, don't ever buy a cat.
Made headlines again, and that time it was after reportedly getting kicked out of a school in her hometown of St. Louis for smelling like marijuana. She later reacted in a very angry way after the school actually
what's up with this doing these? Oh my, why you keep doing my girl so dirty, bro? She look like she 2 popsicles away from an insane asylum, bro. Like, ease up off my girl, bro. Come on, man. Shit.
Turned her away and essentially told her, hey, you can't be here because you smell like Mary J. And Sexy Red was saying that she just wanted to speak to the kids.
So this school put me, I came up here, got you, trying to talk to the kids, getting the word of that, they gonna put me on me.
She sounds tired, man.
I smell like weed, watch this. My job hard. Every day I'm fighting for my life. Every day. Trying to put me out from this school. I'm coming back around.
And the question a lot of people had was, wait a second, why are you showing up to a school smelling like weed, regardless of if you were invited or not? And that kind of thing definitely made it clear that Sexy Red was very detached from basic accountability. Instead of leaving, she actually decided to turn up outside the school with a crowd of students.
St. Louis native known for her raunchy lyrics making national headlines over a recent performance outside of a rally that was for kids. Well, national recording artist Sexy.
That's like the biggest fuck you ever, bro. like that's literally the biggest fuck you I've ever heard in my life, bro. Like, all right, then y'all ain't wanna let me in? Turn up outside this bitch, bro. I turned up outside this bitch, bro. Like, down.
Sexy Red, whose name is Janae Wary, drawing criticism tonight over her behavior and performance after a student rally Wednesday at
Chaffetz. The organization involved telling First Alert 4 tonight she was never even invited.
Despite being
that is fucking insane. So she just pulled to the school off L? What the fuck?
told not to be on the property.
Y'all know what's like a W, what someone want to do? When I get some money, I want to get some fucking big ass guap and just, when I get my alarm truck, just pull up on my sister, bro. Pull up to the school and just pull up in the alarm truck and be like, and everyone will be like, oh my god, whose car is that? Oh my god, whose car is that? And she got the way up be like, yo, sis, let's go. Is that your brother? Is that your brother? Oh my god, oh my god. And then she gonna pop up and she gonna do some weird shit because she awkward as fuck. So she gonna pull up and she be like, get the fuck in the car. Get the fuck, it's a rental, bitch. No, this is the road, this is my god. Bro, that's the dream right there, bro. Oh my god.
Tonight, she was never even.
Get sexy.
Obviously, that's the kind of thing any regular person would have faced real consequences for, but when you're famous, rich, and poppin', consequences don't always apply. Now, this pattern actually continued because after this came the 4C hair comments. Now, in a clip posted to Instagram, Sexy Red actually showed off her straightened hair, and she mocked women with 4C hair. For anyone
Damn. What's wrong with us 4C'ers, man? What the fuck?
who doesn't know what 4C hair is, it's essentially the natural hair type that most black women have. And Sexy Red, she posted this photo of herself and said, "You carpet hair beanie neck hoes could never." And then she obviously got backlash for this.
And I just hate the fact that we make fun of things that we cannot change. We cannot change hair texture. And it's sad because this is who's in the mainstream media
Sexy Red calling 4C hair, carpet hair is colorist. Wow.
talking like this. And a lot of people are growing up having her as a role model for whatever reason. And they're going to start saying carpet hair. It's already a search in TikTok is carpet hair. The hair texture that you have does not determine how beautiful you are. What your face...
Damn. Oh no. See, she bubbled. Okay, see, it's not a thing. Cool. The damage, chat. The damage has not been done. We're good. Okay, let's get back. Do it.
Face looks like really doesn't determine how beautiful you are. It's your aura. It's your personality that determines how beautiful you are.
And then when that
Hey, shout out to whoever this is, girl. Her TikTok is J Shell's trying her best. Yo, shout out J Shell, bro. J Shellies. J Shell. Shout out you. That was a W. I need y'all to hear that again.
You are. It's your aura.
Hold on. Let me run that back.
Model for whatever reason, and they're gonna start seeing carpet hair. It's already a search in TikTok is carpet hair. The hair texture that you have does not determine how beautiful you are. What your face looks like really doesn't determine how beautiful you are. It's your aura. It's your personality that determines how beautiful you are.
And there you go, baby girl. There you go. That's some real nigga shit right there. We respect the fuck. Whoa, I paused at the wrong time. But we respect that shit, Cellas.
When that backlash came, she responded in a very distasteful way, and she said, I fuck with carpet hair, but would still call women that if they talked smack. Obviously not the smartest move, because the majority of her, but would
I fuck with people with carpet hair. They cool. But if you talking shit, I'm gonna call you carpet hair. None against my fellow 4C hoochies.
still call women that if they talked smack. Obviously not the smartest move, because the majority of her fan base is actually made up.
Listen to me, bro. If you got 4C hair, like a nigga, embrace your 4C hair, bro. And hey, if you want a lock, you literally have the best hair for it. I'm gonna just say that. It's strength. Everything has its strength. You know what I mean? You got that curly. What's curly? Like 3C, 3A, or something like that, or 2A, or is that straight? 2A like straight. I think it's like 3C that's curly or something like that. Whatever the fucking curly is. Curly better for the afro and shit. You got the straight hair. Not good for being straight. And then you got us 4s and our 4Cs and shit, bro. Like, we good. This us right here. This is what we do. This is what we do. If you want to have your afro, oh my god, bro. Like, have you seen 4C afros, bro? Like, bro, them shits are amazing. They nice and firm and they, ooh, that's a good time right now. You are beautiful, whatever hair you have, however you look, you are beautiful in your own way, in every way. And like Miss Chell said, it's on the outside, it's inside. It's how you carry yourself and how you treat people. So treat people good and carry yourself appropriately, and you will be fine, and you are enough, and you are okay. That's the last good thing I'm gonna tell you niggas.
Of the same black women that she was shading. And also, it's like, you're a black woman yourself and you have this hair type yourself naturally, and just because you strained that hair that one time, that doesn't really take away from the fact that you naturally have that hair type. You get what I'm saying? So that's the kind of thing that kind of comes across as, like, you know what they call it, internalized hatred. And this is what made it very ironic, because Sexy Red's entire brand was always built on exaggerating the same negative stereotypes of black women that she herself and
Nigga just like this nigga ready to take this to pound down, bro. Like, cause wait, he just licking eat lips, bro. Like, my god,
insulted. But then we also have the viral tape, and in October 2023, Sexy Red accidentally posted a private tape on her
why you do air quotes? I thought it was accidental for real.
Instagram story. I'm sure you probably know what that private tape was, right?
Now, people said that you leaked your...
It was an interesting tape, I must say. I did see it multiple times. Interesting tape.
Tape on purpose.
Mm-hmm. It was on Instagram, like a little short clip video, and then through the phone, and it got accidentally pressed like that.
She later claimed on an interview with The Breakfast Club that it wasn't intentional, but anyone with a functioning brain can tell that it was. The timing, the context, the way it boosted her visibility all point to this being part of the marketing strategy.
It's crazy. It's so crazy what some people are willing to do, bro. Like down, like, and I mean, my girl, like, ain't even like hide her face, like you just see it subtly from a tattoo. Nah, my girl she was in that video, bro. She was in that video. I mean, face, things, she was in it. You knew it was Sexy Red. Like, it wasn't no subtle shit if you didn't see it. That is crazy. That is fucking insane. Hey, gotta get to the bag, bro. Gotta get to the bag.
Because remember, her biggest song, Pound Town, literally revolves around her body and sexuality, okay? So when the world suddenly gets visual evidence connected to those lyrics, what do you think happens? A viral storm. And this kind of thing is part of building a brand identity in today's industry. Not just for Red, but for any artist trying to connect their image to a specific idea or aesthetic. It's very profitable and it works. In this case, we have Shock, Scandal, and controversy being the core of that identity. And in this,
like, bro, I be looking at this and I be like, bro, like, why, bro? Like certain piercings, and certain tattoos, I will never, ever, for the life of me, understand why people do it. Because it's like, I'm not gonna even go as far and be like, oh, it don't look good, nah, because to each its own. But it's like, for example, right? I think a tattoo right here on my hand would be fucking amazing. Like a fucking skull or some shit. I feel like right here, not something. I feel like something here would be dope on my hand, right? You think my bitch ass gonna go put some here though? Fuck no. What the fuck? Are you dumb, nigga? That shit is painful, bruv. That shit is no. No. It's the reason I only have one tattoo now. I'm a bitch, low key. Like I love me a good tattoo, bro, but I am petrified of them shits, bro. And the one tattoo I got, that shit didn't even hurt. That shit only hurt towards the end. But like people like legit, one of the main reasons, it's probably a good thing. The main reason I never got a face tattoo, cause I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of those guys. Like, I low key still want a face tattoo, low key. But the reason I ain't get it, I don't think I handle a needle being that close and being on my face. That's legit one of the main reasons I ain't get it. Especially right now, because anyone can fucking work anywhere at this point. Fuck, bro. I can't take that shit, bro. Like, damn. Yeah, anyone who have piercings in odd places or very painful places, you know what? Drop the most painful place to get a piercing and the most painful place that you have experienced now to get either a piercing or a tattoo. Let me know.
Situation, none of it was an accident. It was all strategy. This is how an artist gets branded, sold, and introduced to the public by the record labels. And like a lot of us know, the more extreme the image is, the more attention it draws. And the more attention it draws, the more money it makes for the people.
I remember when Blocky Speaks was dead ass like a faceless YouTuber, bro. Like, that is crazy. It's so weird for me to see his face now, bro. Like, every time I watch his videos and I see his face, I be like, who the fuck is this dude? I'm hearing Blocky Speaks, but I'm not seeing Blocky Speaks. I'm used to seeing this nigga in the background right here. I'm used to seeing that. I'm not used to seeing face. I'm not gonna lie.
Behind the scenes.
Shout out that nigga Blocky Speaks though.
But here's the most worrying part.
Why you keep doing this to my girl, bro? I'm sorry, mama.
About all of this. A huge portion of her audience is made up of children, specifically young black girls who look up to her, imitate her, and see her as a representation of what confidence looks like. And so when those same girls watch a public figure leak her own tape and then pretend it was an accident, it sends a dangerous message that attention is worth more than dignity. When it comes
True. Speak, Blocky, speak.
to being a public figure, no matter how you look at it, there is a level of responsibility that comes with that. With great power comes great responsibility.
W.
And it's not about being perfect 24/7 or operating like a role model every second of the day, but at least being conscious of how your actions land and who they actually speak to is very important. Now, in Sexy Red's case, I never expected that kind of responsibility from her, at least based on how she moved up until that point. But that's exactly the point here. The industry knew that. They knew she wasn't going to filter herself or self-correct or think about the impact that her negative actions are having on people, the world, and the youth. And in a way, that's what made her the perfect candidate for this experiment. Because before Sexy Red was handpicked, and listen to what I just said here, okay? Handpicked to be elevated to the spotlight, there's a very real process that happens behind the scenes. Personalities of this type don't just blow up by accident. Their image, their behavior, all of it is observed, analyzed, and measured by the people who decide who gets pushed and who doesn't. And this explains something a lot of people have wondered about for years, which is, why do so many public figures suddenly explode in popularity, yet seem to completely lack a moral compass? Why do the most chaotic, reckless, or controversial artists get the biggest push? That's not by accident. How it works is this. Labels, investors, and media companies collectively look for what's profitable, not what's healthy, uplifting, or balanced. They look for personalities that can generate attention, even if that attention comes from dysfunction, because attention is currency. And someone who doesn't self-reflect or set boundaries is easier to brand, easier to manipulate, and easier to push into extreme directions. And during that evaluation process, a lot of questions get asked behind the scenes. Questions like who can push the public's buttons the most, who can trigger the strongest reactions, who will go the furthest without questioning the impact. That's why I felt like Sexy Red was being extra provocative during her blow-up period. It wasn't random. It wasn't accidental. It was very planned. It was orchestrated in a way that maximized shock, maximized virality, and maximized profit. And despite all that dysfunction, it seemed like she just kept going up. Every controversy, every viral moment, instead of things slowing down, it almost felt like it was fueling her career even more. And my theory has always been that there's of course a reason for that. See, I personally think that Sexy Red was getting this push for one main reason: to promote a very specific image, a very negative one. Because in a world where media has always shaped how we view people, especially black people, Sexy Red became a tool for the music industry to push a modern version of one of the oldest and most damaging stereotypes about black women. I'm talking about the Jezebel stereotype. Dating back to slavery, this stereotype painted black women as hypersexual, uncontrollable, and defined entirely by their body.
What would you do if your mother was a hooker? She was lovable, she was mean, black, damn. That's crazy, bro. That I like this shit just went deep, bro. Like damn, but damn. Hold on, let me listen.
Bodies. It was a complete lie that was used to justify the exploitation and abuse of black women for generations, and somehow that same imagery is still being recycled today, just packaged with beats and marketing. And hip-hop has always been an art form to empower black voices. However, it has unfortunately been hijacked to do the opposite. And Sexy Red, whether she realizes or not, became the face of that. Her entire brand, her lyrics, her visuals, and even the way she's promoted. It all fed into that same narrative, that the only way a black woman can be seen, celebrated, or go viral is by being sexualized, loud, and reckless. And Red eventually...
Bro, that's crazy though. Like, it's crazy. That's how it really is, bro. It's like the only way. Like, let's look at a girl. Like, okay, you got a Sexy Red, popping big. Let's look at even some of the biggest people in entertainment. Think about it. You got Sexy Red. OG, you got Nicki Minaj. OG at this point, you got Cardi B. You got Lotto. Freaking Glorilla shakes some ass, but she ain't really. She elegant with it. Lotto is too. Megan Thee Stallion. All these women are elegant with it now because they low-key established as fuck. But at first, it was a lot of ass in the way. But then, okay, these are some of the tops, right? And then you got someone like Mariah the Scientist. Pretty girl. Mariah don't really shake ass like that. You know what I mean? She could shake some ass, but she don't really shake ass like that. You know? So it's like, it's obvious what the agenda is. It's obvious either what sells or what the people behind the scenes want to sell. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. Someone like Willow, don't get pushed. Willow don't shake no ass. You know what I mean? Who else? Who else is a musician? Can't say SZA. SZA just a W. You gotta look at rap though. An ex-rapper who don't really shake ass like that. Female rapper don't really shake ass like that. I can't think of none right now. But yeah, that is crazy, the agenda, bro.
Became very successful. She's undoubtedly generated a whole lot of money for the music industry. And for a while, the experiment worked. But now things are starting to shift.
And why is that?
A lot of you guys might have noticed how Sexy Red isn't being talked about nearly as much as before.
Fox.
And there's a few reasons for that. Now let's take it back. Take it way back to how it all started.
Take it way back to the first black man, long ago before the white man could paint the black man with a gun in his hand. Take it way back to the first white man, long ago is the some fucking I'ma steal this land. Shout out that nigga Logic.
Before Sexy Red took off, she was discovered by a Miami-based label and management company called Rebel Music back in 2021. They came across some of her early songs and decided to sign her. Her A&R executive stated that once she got off the plane and I heard her voice, I knew she was a star. Fast forward to mid-2023, the peak of her blow-up, and Gamma, a new media company, stepped in to handle her distribution. Now let's talk a little bit about Gamma, because this was the company behind her true rise. Now this company was founded by a Larry Jackson. Some of you guys in the music industry might know who this is. He actually spent 7 years as Apple Music's global creative director before leaving in 2022 to start Gamma, a company that claims to create, distribute, and market content focused on black culture. And according to Larry Jackson himself, that focus on black culture isn't just a slogan, it's the entire pitch. Because when Gamma was launched, it wasn't some small experimental startup. They actually came out the gate backed by $1 billion in financing. And the question is, where did they get that money from? We'll get to that in a second. And this money was apparently being put to work, particularly and acutely, on black culture. So $1 billion dedicated specifically to black culture. Interesting. Now, Larry Jackson is a very much recognized name in the music industry. Most people, whether it's managers, artists, or anyone else who actually works in the music industry, most times they know who he is, right? Billboard even named Larry Jackson the R&B and hip-hop executive of the year. They described him as someone who's able to bring things to life, with artists like Travis Scott praising the way he moves. So he's been getting a lot of cosigns from a lot of very prominent artists as well. And one of the first big moves the company Gamma that he started made was facilitating a deal where TikTok's 1 billion plus users got exclusive access to the entire Death Row catalog, which included Snoop Dogg's classic Doggy Style album and the late Tupac's All Eyes on Me as well. Now right here, Larry Jackson demonstrated exactly the kind of pull he and his company Gamma actually has and what it's apparently built to do. Use massive capital, massive access, and massive cultural leverage to shape what the general public, but especially black audiences, consume and how they consume it. Now when you understand that, Sexy Red's rise starts looking a lot less organic and a lot more like a calculated extension of that mission. Now alongside Larry Jackson, we also have Ike Yusuf, Gamma's president. Now Ike previously worked at Interscope Records as a CFO, Chief Financial Officer, and he holds degrees in business, economics, and accounting. So his background is strictly corporate, not creative. Together, these two essentially built Gamma to be a hybrid between a label and a media powerhouse. And Sexy Red quickly became one of their biggest test cases, the face of a very calculated experiment that combined viral marketing, controversy, and cultural packaging under the banner of representation. But here's where things get interesting. The largest investor in Gamma isn't someone from the culture at all. It's Todd Boehly, a 52-year-old American businessman of German heritage who's worth over $8 billion. So now it actually starts to make sense where they got that initial billion from, right? So the main investor behind a company that claims to focus on black culture is a white billionaire who also happens to co-own Los Angeles Dodgers and Chelsea Football Club. And, that's kind of where the dots start to connect. Because one of the biggest questions people had when Sexy Red started popping up everywhere was how? Like, how is all this possible? How does someone with that kind of image suddenly get this massive push from every direction? Well, now it should make sense to you. When you realize that the machine behind Sexy Red included a billionaire investor worth nearly $9 billion, a major media company with deep Apple Music ties, and a label infrastructure designed to amplify controversy, it starts painting a very clear picture. And this is something Candace Owens actually spoke about some time back as well.
Gamma has a lot of power. I'll tell you why Gamma has a lot of power. Because the two individuals that started Gamma, one of them came out of Apple. His name is Larry Jackson. And the second one of them came from Interscope Records. He has a ton of clout in the record community, the music community industry, so to speak. And his name is Ike Yusuf. Larry Jackson, who I mentioned before, is black. And he is the person that I am more interested in.
For anyone who doesn't recognize the face or name, Candace Owens is an American political commentator and author, and a self-labeled conservative activist. Now, she's covered a lot of these same connections, pointing out how the entertainment industry profits off of promoting chaos, dysfunction, and over-sexualization, especially when it comes to black artists. Now, interestingly enough, this connects to something rapper Ice Cube talked about on Bill Maher's podcast. Ice Cube spoke about the same kind of manipulation, which is what he called social engineering, where record labels act like gatekeepers. And he said that they essentially don't tell artists exactly what to say, but they make sure that the most destructive messages are the ones that get pushed to the top.
The records that come out are really geared to push people towards that prison industry.
But they didn't make you write those lyrics.
It's not about making somebody write the lyrics. It's about being there as guardrails to make sure certain songs make it through and certain songs don't.
And this is an idea we've explored conversation.
That is crazy, bro. That is so damn, Jerry girl. That is crazy. Don't look at me like that, nigga. It's too much. That is so insane. It's so crazy how, not to be one of those guys, but like the white man still got so much pull on our culture, bro. Like, that is crazy, bro. Like, damn. Like, it's really just slavery in a different way now, bro. Like, it's not even physically anymore, bro. It's just mental slavery at this point, bro. Like, I'm definitely not one of those niggas who just run on. But it's like, if you really look at it, that's how it is, bro. Like, we still being, in a sense, tamed, bro. That's sucky to see, bro. That's what scared me about being in the entertainment game, bro. Like, it's so much people trying to control you in this. And it ain't even just the white people. Some of your own people trying to control you. It's just a lot of, like, it's a lot of control in this game. You know what I mean? And like, it's crazy.
Over time, so it's nothing new, right? Now, Ice Cube was essentially saying, if you follow the money, you'll start noticing how the same people who own major record labels also have ownership stakes in private prisons. Now, that's another conversation I'll explore in depth in another video. Whether you believe what Ice Cube said or not, the underlying message underneath is very clear. The industry profits off of chaos, dysfunction, and division. And when you look at what gets the biggest push, the artists who glorify violence, crime, or hypersexuality, it starts to make a lot of sense, right? And this is how a lot of these experiments start. Now, for Sexy Red, I think they decided to push the boundaries even further, especially when it comes to the raunchiness and shock value. Because here's the thing, we live in a time where, let's just say that people are extremely desensitized in all types of ways. Nothing surprises anyone anymore. So to grab everybody's attention, like to grab the attention of the public, you almost have to go to the extreme. You have to be louder, you have to be wilder, you have to be more provocative than the last person, or you'll get drowned out in the noise. And Sexy Red became the perfect vessel for that strategy. Because one thing about the public is that we react to extremes. If you show us something that feels outrageous, controversial, or wild enough, it grabs our attention instantly. And in an experiment where attention equals profit, the industry keeps testing how far they can go. They take these sample sizes of artists, amplify the most polarizing ones, and study what happens next, how people react, how the internet responds, how the controversy spreads. If it goes viral, they double down on that formula. If it doesn't, they move on to the next artist. That's exactly.
Boy, the funniest shit ever was from this video.
What we've seen happen in this case right here. Sexy Red was a test subject for how far they could stretch the public's time.
Hold on. That shit was hilarious, bro. That shit was hilarious. Hold on. You yearn for white approval. That's crazy. Anyway. What was I doing? People react to Sukiyama. I don't know. That's spelling it. Sexy Red. No, how you spell the name? Sukihana. Where is it, bro? I want to see. I read this song drop. This is hilarious, bro. It ain't my fault. Come on, fuck on.
Tolerance for dysfunction, for explicitness, for chaos, all while disguising it as authenticity.
Shake that ass out.
Now, what's happening right now with Sexy Red though? Because she's obviously not getting the same marketing push that she was. Before we even get to Sexy Red, we got to look at what's been happening in rap overall. Now, a few days ago, we talked about that Billboard report, the one showing that for the first time since the 90s, there wasn't a single rap song in the Hot 100's top 40. Rap's market share has been slipping for years. This is something a lot of people know, right? Labels aren't investing in hip-hop like they used to, and a lot of the newer sounds just aren't connecting with the public anymore. Meanwhile, country, Latin, Afrobeats, and pop are dominating. So the industry has shifted towards safe artists with guaranteed returns, meaning the machine has been, pulling back on rappers across the board, not just Sexy Red. Now for Sexy Red, she's undoubtedly an artist who's fueled by antics, and an artist in that category usually gets a huge marketing push during that initial discovery phase where the label throws everything at them to create momentum, and it works at first. It always does. But later on, things start to slow down because antics have an expiration date. That's just how it is. There's also a growing level of fatigue towards these characters who get pushed nonstop, not just in the music industry, but just in social media in general. And the reason for this fatigue, in my opinion, is because people today are way more conscious, way more self-aware, way more spiritually tuned in than they were in the past. Because here's the thing, I'm sure you know this, right? We're living in a time where there's so many things that are attacking our attention, our energy, and our peace. So people can feel when something is forced and when something is spiritually empty. Sexy Red went through that period where she was being prioritized, where the machine was fully behind her, pushing her into every corner of the culture and industry, but things are a little different now. Just a year and some change later, that momentum isn't the same. The push isn't the same, and the public isn't reacting the same way they did before. And once the intensity of the reactions start to fade, what incentive does the industry have to keep pushing you and investing all this money into you? None. And there's also something to be said about the demographic that Sexy Red was being marketed towards, which was primarily black women. And based on the responses I've seen online, a lot of, those same women who were initially hyped about her are starting to wake up to what's really going on. Not in a judgmental way, but in a self-awareness kind of way. Because once something reaches a certain level of exaggeration or dysfunction or straight up cartoonish behavior, people eventually recognize it for what it is. Now, personally, I think that all those black women should have realized, when she made those 4C hair comments, that's what we call internalized hatred, okay? And so I think that should have been the moment where they woke up and they realized, like, damn, she's straight up mocking herself and she's mocking us, right? Now, on top of that, we also know that Sexy Red's rise was built almost entirely on hype. And when something is built on hype, it fades the moment people take a step back and actually look at what they're consuming. When you change the way you look at things, the things you're looking at actually start to change. And that's kind of when people start to see through the hype and the facade. And I think that's what happened with Sexy Red. I also don't think that people are as quick to play this kind of music around their children anymore, especially after everything, people have seen from Sexy Red, but also too considering everything that's happening in the world right now. Because the truth is, there's a lot of forces operating through social media today, pushing certain ideas, certain behaviors, and planting certain messages in the minds of the youth. Not in some kind of like conspiracy way, but I'm saying in a very algorithm / attention type of way. The stuff that spreads the fastest is usually the stuff that's loudest, wildest, and most chaotic, and most dysfunctional. And when that becomes the dominant influence in certain spaces, parents and young people themselves start paying attention. And once you recognize the pattern, once you see the intention behind the marketing, you start realizing this isn't something you want influencing the next generation. And that shift right there matters. Because when the core audience becomes more intentional, more protective, and more aware, the entire foundation of that experiment starts to fall apart. Now look, I think Sexy Red is going to continue being successful to some extent because she's got a fan base.
That is crazy. Shout out to the Blocky Speaks. W. Anyway, that's me. I'm out this hoe.